Walk out, boys. It is Thursday night football. It's Kush here. I got Zargo next to me, and I got Spread down low. Boys, what is up? We're going to break down tonight's Thursday night football game. Don't forget, we will be live at 8:10 Eastern time. Get you ready for the Rams and the Vikings. We'll have our live in-game broadcast tonight starting at 8:15. And then we're only going first half free tonight. You got to sign up for the site if you want to get in there and get our second half picks in our witching hour. So make sure you do that. It's nukethehouse.com. Sign up, 1 month plan, $59.99. Want to go for the full year? We've been on a roll. $599.99. You get $120 off. Zargo, how are you, my friend? Great night last night on our debut show, NBA NHL betting show. 3-0. And I sweated out that Caps. After the show, I went upstairs, watched the Caps, and saw them cash the last two bets. So nice work in the NHL last night.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it was nice to run it back with you boys. It was a very profitable evening. And, if there's one thing Nuke the House is good at, it's Thursday night football. So always excited when this day of the week rolls around. Excited to chat with you guys and excited to make some money this evening.
Yeah, Keg just had me unload so much on this game tonight. It's not tonight. I would say the Tampa game, I should say. Hey, Spread, you did a great job last night on the show too, Mr. NBA guy. How the hell are you?
Man, I'm having a great time today. Of course, we did have a successful night last night, and looking forward to keeping it going. And now I'm bouncing back and forth in between sports. I've been doing some NBA prep all morning, but fortunately, I did my prep for this game earlier this week. I just saw the injury report, moved the line a little, but let's dive right into it.
What do you got with your injury report? What's the latest?
Could see a Puka Nacua sighting?
Man, he's officially activated to the roster. I didn't know that was going to be big news today, but I guess they're throwing it out there that he could be back. There you go.
That would be a
there
huge
you go.
upgrade.
You know what? Ian Rappaport, literally less than a minute ago, they're activating Puka, and he'll play tonight. So we got Puka and Cooper Kupp back. Wow, that kind of changes things, doesn't it, guys? Yeah, it does.
Absolutely.
Spread, what's your take here? So let's get into this because I wonder if the line's going to move. You would think it would, right? Right now, it's Minnesota -2.5 on the road. 47.5 is the total. That's just about the number that you're going to find anywhere. I do wonder if this moves the line, though. What are Kupp and Puka worth the line? We already thought that Kupp was back. Is it worth a half point? We'll see. Guy at Fanatic Sportsbook, worst sportsbook ever, but he told Ben Fox that 74% and 72% of the money, 74% of the bets, 72% of the money on the Vikings to cover. So they moved the line from 3 to 2.5. And then a whole bunch of money came in, and 49% of the bets came in on the Rams. So they moved the line to 2.5 to get some Rams bets. And now I just wonder where this is going to go. Talk to me here, Spread. Big news just breaking with Puka. How do you see this game going tonight?
Yeah, and the offshores are kind of staying firm on their 3. Of course, you can buy the point, but Bet Online, instead of moving it back to 2.5, they're giving you +105 on the -3, and bookmakers offering a +107 on the -3. So they're a little hesitant to move off that 3, and I'm wondering if that's because of the action they've already taken on this game. However, when we're looking at this game and breaking it down, we know the one thing that could prevent Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua from making a big impact, and of course, that would be the pass rush and the different blitzes that Brian Flores is going to bring into this game. We know that the Vikings are coming off their first loss of the season. Teams coming off their first loss on short rest have not done well traditionally, so that's also something to keep in mind, but we'll see if they can buck that trend. Sam Darnold, after the great early season success, kind of come back to earth. It's not like that he's playing poorly, but definitely not at the same level that he was at earlier this season. But he's got a good defense to try and get right against because, while the Rams are doing okay on their front seven, the secondary still does have some issues, and he'll definitely have the weapons to work with tonight. Another guy making his way back into the lineup as we talk about the Rams' weapons returning, of course, is TJ Hawkinson. That could mean a lot to Sam Darnold and his team. could potentially open some things up for Justin Jefferson if Hawkinson's able to get loose in the middle there and take some of the attention away from the Rams defense. So overall, I was on the Vikings to start this week, and I'm still going to stay there. What I'm hoping, though, is that this news finalizes and maybe I can dive back in at a different number. I'm not seeing these 2.5s offshore, but I'm wondering how much it's going to continue to move if Nakua is ruled in for sure.
Yeah, I have a hard time thinking it'll move off of 2.5, and I'm just looking at the lines right now. Maybe more with the total. It's interesting because at DraftKings, it hit 48 early, and then dropped to 47.5 about, what is that? A little while ago. So they might want to adjust that. And then FanDuel had a big shift. They were at 48.5 this morning, just dropped it to 47.5 about an hour ago. And I wonder if this gets pushed to 48 around the industry. I'm not sure, but we are reacting to the news live. What do you think here, Zargo? Vikings minus 2.5, 47.5 the total.
Yeah, I mean, that definitely, Puka Nacua news definitely changes things up. However, the spread, I don't think is anything you really got to worry about. I see either the Vikings win it handedly or the Rams win outright. I don't see this being a tight game at the spread. So 2.5, 3.5, I don't really care. It's more just pick your side. This morning, my article, posted, I'm on an alt spread for the Vikings. I thought they were going to dominate. The Puka news does concern me, especially since Minnesota has one of the worst pass defenses in the game. Now, there are a lot of other layers that go into this. I'm not just going to flip because Puka's back. Stafford hasn't looked that great. Now, I'm going to be honest, I haven't watched that much Rams football. I'm not watching all 22 on Stafford. They just haven't been a very entertaining team to watch. So I can't give you an in-depth look on why Stafford's been struggling, but just, how he's been performing. And like Spread mentions, going up against Flores, this isn't enough to make me change sides. I'm more just not as confident on Minnesota as I was this morning. But definitely turns it into a more entertaining game. And if nothing else, should be at least more fun to watch.
Yeah,
Can I jump in? I can tell you why Stafford's been struggling. It's the pass protection, and the guy has to be sick to his stomach. He plays in Detroit with the terrible offensive line his whole career. Now he gets traded to Los Angeles. He looks over at Detroit, and they have by far the best offensive line in football. Jared Goff gets to sit back there all day and just be super accurate with all his targets. And now Stafford's running for his life again. The problem with the Rams this season, especially on offense, has been at their offensive line. I don't want to necessarily blame their GM. They've been just struck with injuries, and Joe Noteboom's out again tonight. So could be another tough night for the Rams when it comes to pass protection.
Okay, very good. I just texted with Keg a minute ago. He said Puka's worth about a half point to the line. Cooper Kupp was worth almost a point to the line at one time when he was so destructive, but he said Puka could be worth a half point to the line. Again, I'm not seeing any movement right now. And what is up, everybody? Card Addict, my man, is in the house right here. Always good to see Card Addict. Tommy Z, MMA guy here at Nuke the House. Aaron Jones should run wild tonight. Jones prop is set at 71.5 and his receiving yards at 24.5. So it's definitely possible. I usually look at the industry projections from a couple of different sites. This is not the way to place prop bets, okay? But I'm just telling you, his consensus line is 24.5 yards. The consensus projection is sitting at 20.5. Again, you don't base bets on this, but I'm just telling you, I'm giving you a baseline here. 71.5 rush yards is his consensus line. 64 yards is his projection. Talk to me here, Spread. What kind of night do you think Aaron Jones is going to have for the Vikings against the Rams, who like to give up rushing yards?
Well, as a player who jumped in on the Minnesota Vikings already and has that ticket in my pocket, I hope our guy Tommy Z is right, because those are directly correlated. If you do like the Vikings to get the win, you have to expect that Aaron Jones is going to have a big night. And that's where another place where I think that Hawkinson being back in the lineup can help. If he gets some early success there and the linebackers and the safeties are having to focus on Hawkinson a little bit more, it should open some things up there for Aaron Jones, even if that gives him an extra half yard before contact. It could be huge for Aaron Jones tonight. So I'm predicting a big night for him as well, but that makes sense because I am on the Vikings.
Anything here for you, Zargo, that you see with Aaron Jones or anywhere else with player props?
Yeah, absolutely. That was kind of the play that I was saving for the show. I didn't put in the article. I love Aaron Jones tonight. Only the Colts and Panthers allow more rushing yards than the Rams. And when you look at Aaron Jones's stats this season, I mean, he put up 29 yards against the Jets and 32 against San Francisco. Outside of those two games, he's put up 90 plus every other time. So forget the 71. I'm thinking 80 plus, maybe even 90 plus should be easy money here. So that's kind of the that's how I'm targeting Jones here.
Wow. Jones opened at 69.5. Now he's sitting at 71.5. Took a little bump this afternoon. That would be at DraftKings. At FanDuel, they opened him at 67.5 and he went up to 4 yards. You
can still catch 69.5 at Bet Rivers
Rivers.
But I don't see any reason to mess with those numbers when you get plus money.
Yeah, so you would not take his number.
No, I like plus money. So give me I don't see any reason not to take 90, but I'm also, I'm a pretty conservative bettor, so I might just take the plus 110 at 80 plus, maybe sprinkle a little bit on that 90.
But Jones is definitely a guy you're looking at, no question.
100%.
Yeah, I was just going through the game log here and I was seeing, where he's been to this point. He's gotten to 102, 93 and 93. So he has blasted through that number on a couple of occasions, 3 occasions, as a matter of fact. So
looking at the numbers, Holden, I'd probably just go full unit on the 80 plus and then just attack 100 because we're only getting plus 185 at 90 plus, but you can go 100 plus at 280 at 10 yards for a whole dollar. Why not?
What do you think about that spread? You want to climb a ladder with Aaron Jones a little bit? You think 100's in reach for him?
That's the biggest success we've had at Nuke the House, right? It's our ability to ladder these props that we're targeting. Yeah. In the traditional way that we've done it at the minus 110, it doesn't matter if you blow the number out the water. But when you hit the ladder and you're exactly right on a player projection, it pays off so much. So I can't argue against it.
Yeah, I don't care that his projection's under around the industry. That's silly talk for me. All right, Zargo, I'm going with you, buddy. I'm taking you on here. I'm gonna actually hit the number though for Aaron Jones and probably go to the 80. I mean, you're gonna go with the 90. I don't blame you for going to the 90. What'd you get the 80 at again?
Plus 110.
It's 145 over at Bet Rivers.
Oh, I have Bet Rivers. I'll look around. I have DraftKings up, so that's what I'm looking at. But I haven't placed that yet, so I'll.
Will you give me a shout out if you see a better number for 80 plus for Aaron Jones than 145?
Yeah, I'll start cruising right now.
This is not the way Keg would do it. He would go 80, 90, 100, probably 110 and 175 if he liked that. But Card Addict's in 100 plus 280. We'll see how it goes tonight. Jason Graham, Hulk Hogan is known to do that as well. That's your boy Tommy. That must be some inside stuff.
What's that joke? It's a wrestling fan. I don't even get that joke.
Don't worry about it. It must be an inside MMA thing. That's all right. It's great. Graham is here. What up, Graham? Like button would be great. We'd really appreciate that. And don't forget, you guys have been begging to get to be members in the site, and it's back. Like, we can take your payments now. So get over to nukethehouse.com right now. Sign up for the monthly plan. That's going to be $59.99. You can sign up for the year at $599.99. There's a weekly plan, but why go in for 1 week? We could have a great week. We could have a bad week. You're here, sustained success. You give us a month and go see how that's looking. Right now, Keg is just on a heater, and I'm not slowing down. I'm not getting off those bets. He's like, we're due for regression. Yeah, we're due for regression in the offseason. That's when we're due for regression, Keg. It ain't happening right now, buddy. I'm tailing this dude. He's too damn good. Also want to remind you, if you are a subscriber, you're getting booted from Discord at 6 o'clock tonight, and then you can get back in. But we're getting all the free people out that we've had in there for the last week and a half. We'll get you guys back into the Discord. You turn on your live betting notifications. That's the other thing you get at Nuke the House. We send our bets right to your phone. You don't have to watch our live show tonight at 8:15. You don't got to do it. All you got to do is sign up, turn on your notifications in Discord. Bets come right to you. You could be at a bar. You could be hanging out with your kids. You could be doing anything if you don't want to watch the show. and you'll get our bets right to your phone. All right, what is the best bet here, Spread? Give me the best bet for Thursday Night Football.
Minnesota Vikings minus 2.5.
All right, let's go. Zargo, what do you got for the best bet tonight? And anytime you want to break in and tell me where you get a better number on Aaron Jones 80+, you let me know. What's the best bet?
My best bet is Matthew Stafford to throw an interception, paying out even money. So one of my bets I like to look at often is, depending on the quarterback matchup, is combined interceptions, right? You normally get a better number than, because normally interception, it's like minus 150. You can go combined. I did it on my Sunday free article in the Houston Green Bay game. So I thought, hey, let's look at that number today. It's like plus 120, but you can get even money on Stafford to throw an interception. I don't understand where the books, how they come up with these numbers. My man has thrown an interception in 3 straight games, and Minnesota has more interceptions than any teams in the NFL. So my absolute favorite bet probably of the week, even money. It was, I think right now it's like minus 102. No reason to sweat 2 cents on FanDuel for Matthew Stafford to throw at least 1 interception.
All right, very good. Let's go to our Sunday slate, guys. Both of you always give us bets on 2 Sunday games. A little disappointed that you're not betting the same games again, so you could argue with each other, but I'm sure you'll find space to disagree. These two guys disagree more than anybody I know. Philly, Cincy, Zargo. I know that's what you wanted to go to first. So we'll talk about this game, and it's a Philadelphia team that's starting to pick up some wins, much needed wins. They've looked better since the bye. Saquon Barkley went nuts last week. The Bengals just aren't a good football team, but they're talented offensively. At least we can say that, right, guys? We can say that's a talented offensive team. Total here is 48. You can get a line between 2.5 and 3. The Bengals are favored at home. What do you got for us, Zargo?
I got plus 130 on FanDuel for 80+ yards for Aaron Jones.
Plus what?
130.
On FanDuel for 80+, and he's 145 at Bet Rivers. Okay, very good. Anyways, Cincy and the Eagles.
So this is kind of an interesting matchup, right? They're 2 teams with talented rosters that have not been playing to expectations. And similar to the other game I want to look at, it's not so much about how much I like the team I'm betting on, it's how much I want to fade the team I'm betting against. So while, yes, Philly has back-to-back wins, who'd they beat? They edged out the Cleveland Browns by 4, and then they crushed the New York Giants. While, hand up, I was on the Giants in that game, and Philly just rolled them. It's a divisional game. They typically play well against New York. So I'll take that out. But seeing, Cincinnati minus 2.5 as they themselves are starting to get on a roll too. Coincidentally, their last 2, they played the same 2 teams. They beat Cleveland by a touchdown, beat New York by 10. So in the long term, like we've talked about these teams plenty on the show, long-term outlook, I said, eventually Cincinnati's going to get rolling, and that's when I'm going to start betting on them. And that's where we are now. As for Philly, they had a couple nice games against some terrible opponents. So I just needing Cincinnati to win by less than a field goal. I like it. I also like the under here. 48 points is way too high for these 2 teams. I don't see scoring. It'll come. I don't think it's going to be anything crazy low, but there's no way we get to 48. But give me Cincinnati, and I'll lay the 2.5.
Hold on, Spread. You're on this game too, aren't you, or no?
Yes, I'm so disappointed because we're on the same side. Ruining the content here, Holden. I guess instead of bitter rivals, we're tag team partners today here. And Holden, this was a game that I wasn't really sure what to make of it when I first saw the line on Sunday night. However, running my numbers, I was surprised I had a pretty big edge towards the Cincinnati Bengals. So obviously strength of schedule being weighted in there. That Eagles didn't get that huge bump off a 28-3 win in my projections that they normally would. But what we're looking at here is a matchup. And I think that one thing that we need to do is weight strength of schedule and weight injuries when we're looking at past results. And what I saw from Cincinnati against the New York Giants in that game that they kept it close. So, right, we look at a similar opponent and you would say, boy, Cincinnati struggled to beat the Giants, and the Eagles blew the doors off them. But it's like MMA math. I don't think it necessarily works that way. And one thing I was impressed with was the Bengals defensive line now that they're back to full strength. So if they're able to shut down Saquon Barkley or at least limit his effectiveness, and they can turn Hurts or the Eagles into a one-dimensional team relying on Hurts' arm, I'll take Joe Burrow in a shootout over Jalen Hurts any day of the week. Jalen Hurts is a good quarterback, but I think that Joe Burrow can be elite when he's playing his best. And now that Cincinnati's getting close back to full strength, the other thing we notice is they treat the month of September like preseason. So we can lower the weight on those results as well. I think we're seeing the Cincinnati team in full swing. They're going to be going against a fat and happy Philadelphia Eagles team, reading their own press clippings, yelling at their own fans. Now they come back to earth. Give me Cincinnati at home.
Woo-hoo. All right, let's go. One game out of the way. We got two more to get to because the guys are on other games from each other. But I want to remind you, hit the like button. We'd really appreciate it. Smash it. It takes less than a second to do so. If you're watching on X, come on over to our YouTube side and make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, Nuke the House. Turn on your notifications. You'll know when we're on. Our next broadcast is tonight, 8:10 Eastern time for Thursday Night Football, the Vikings and the Rams. Arizona, Miami. Of course, Zargo has a Miami game in here. Of course you do, my friend. Right now, we got Tua coming back. Tyreek's crying. He's so happy. 3.5 is the spread. Miami by 3.5. 45.5, 46.5. I'm seeing some 46s out there. That's where the total is sitting right now. Boy, Tyreek's got to be the happiest man in the world, right? He's finally got a quarterback to throw to him. Like, he and Waddle were completely taken out of ball games without Tua in there. How do we attack this game tonight? Zargo.
Yeah, this line is a line that makes no sense to me. I mean, yeah, Tua's coming back, but I don't know why they're favored here. I mean, 3.5 points. So they're saying on neutral ground there, it's a pick 'em. Tua was not stellar to start the year, right? Like this team, just because Tua's back, they're not going back to being the 2023 Dolphins. I mean, if you look at the first two games, okay in the Jacksonville game, decent stats, but again, we now know Jacksonville is a team you better beat up on because they're not that good, at least to open the season. It's really nothing impressive there. And they looked horrible in that first half against Buffalo when Tua played. So I have zero confidence in Miami with this game, even though Tua is back. Two bets that have just been printing money for me this year is Pittsburgh opponents, team total unders, and the under in Dolphins games. We saw it again last week. We saw 36 points. The total in this one, 46. Arizona's scoring has gone down quite a bit, so they're not going to carry their weight. And I'm not, I don't have high expectations for the Dolphins. So a decent lean to Arizona. I'm going to watch that line. If I can get +4, I'm going to hammer it. I don't mind it +3.5, but the under I think is great. You want to do a same game parlay? I mean, you could do, I don't even see a reason to change that 46. Just go under 46, get Arizona a couple more points, and I think you have a can't miss play because even if Miami does win this game, they're going to edge them out. So don't look for anything crazy from the Dolphins, just to kind of expect more of the same.
Back in Arizona on the road to cover the 3.5. That's what you're doing?
Yeah.
Beautiful. Let's do it. Let's move on to our other game on Sunday. That'll be spreads game, Browns and Ravens. Just so you know, when this came out, my guy Raybon was on it. I took the +10 with the Browns at -25. Now you can get 8.5s at -10. I'm trying to look for a 9, 8. Yeah, this thing opened at 11, quickly bet down to 10, 9.5, 9, and now it's sitting at 8.5 industry wide. The total in this game is 44.5, and I wonder if Jameis Winston's activation and start here has anything to do which side you're on to bet this one. Spread. Talk to me here. Browns and Ravens, the former Browns against the current Browns.
Holden, you're on the right side.
Okay.
And the market is correct here. I always say the NFL market is the sharpest market. And as much as I enjoy watching the NFL more than the NBA, I think the NBA is easier to beat because I don't think the market is as sharp. But the market is all over this move here, and I still think there's value at the current number. This Browns team, I don't think we can quantify how much of a boost they're going to get behind having a quarterback that they can believe in. Last year, This was the number one defense in the NFL. They haven't played well this season, but I wonder how much of the malaise is due to the fact that they do not believe in their team. They don't believe in their quarterback. And one thing about the NFL is it's always been a meritocracy. This is one of the first times I've ever seen it looks like the NBA where a guy's playing just because of his contract, not because of his skills. And I think the team in general is going to send a message to their coach, to their general manager, and to their fan base. Hey, we didn't appreciate you guys giving all this money. We didn't appreciate you giving the starting job. We didn't earn it. And we're behind Jameis Winston, who's a much better person than Deshaun Watson. And that's hard. And Jameis Winston's the guy who's had sexual assault charges as well. And so that just shows you what a scumbag that Deshaun Watson is. So I think this team's going to get a huge boost. We're going to return to seeing that Browns defense that was so good. And this is a divisional matchup. These teams know each other well. You throw the records out the window when it comes to these AFC North matchups. This is going to be a hard-hitting game. I believe it will be low-scoring. I lean towards the under. That does correlate towards taking the points. Give me the Cleveland Browns.
That's it? Just give you the Cleveland Browns. You're backing them.
I mean, that was a pretty good breakdown, don't you think? I gave you some reasons. It's not like I just said.
I was expecting a little more after the give me the Cleveland Browns, but it was a great breakdown spread. I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, I completely agree with spread here. I mean, when you take these two teams, I think if the division rivals, I think is what really brings this bet home, right? If you take these two teams with their situations, they're in different conferences. I don't know that I would necessarily have faith in Cleveland to cover this 8.5 points. I mean, obviously, Jameis Winston is a huge bump, and we don't really know what to make out of them. But it's like, man, you look at how dominant Baltimore's been. You know, they beat Washington by 7, even though they're a great team. But with the history, knowing how these teams are going to come to play and knowing that it's going to be a heated divisional matchup, I definitely think taking the points is the right way to go there for sure.
All right. We got some more news here on this game tonight with the Rams and the Vikings. Hawkinson is not playing, so he's officially out. And people thought he was going to come back. I'm not getting on any Johnny Month props, but I have heard a lot in the industry. People are on Jordan Addison. And I wonder if either one of you guys wants to jump in, maybe talk about secondary options in the passing game behind Justin Jefferson. Maybe Aaron Jones being one of them should get some work, but Jordan Addison. And outside of that, anybody else that we might at least want to give a look to in the Vikings passing game? Hawkinson hadn't been there this year anyways. No. Good talk, guys.
Yeah, I mean, it's not sure. Like, so I mean, I was looking at Aaron Jones, just looking at his receiving and rushing yards. That number is sitting at anywhere from 96 to 100, depending on the book. And it's like, yeah, it's an option. He should hit that number, but just with the value you're getting on his rushing yards, I don't see any reason to depart from that. Looking at Addison, though, yeah, for sure. I mean, his number is at 45, and he's crushed that to the last 3 weeks. So,
well, I got some news here for you. Puka props just dropped. 28.5 minus 10 to the over at BetMGM, 32.5 at FanDuel. So some props are coming out right now. He comes in here and we knew he was playing. I would say that's 29 yards is definitely in the mix, right? But we just don't know how effective he's going to be. If he's going to be out there, though, I mean, could we see him getting 29 yards tonight? FanDuel put him at 31.5. Okay. Best numbers at BetMGM, guys.
I think it correlates with my Minnesota Vikings pick. If we do believe the Vikings are going to be successful tonight, there's a good chance they get a lead. And the Rams could be throwing more. So I would have to like the overs there. The question is, do you feel more safe going with Puka or Cooper? I mean, looking at these numbers, so I'm on Bet Online, right? I got over 68 at minus 117. They're not as generous giving me the minus 110s like for you guys. Or I can get Puka at 28 plus at minus 117. Two guys we're not really sure how healthy they are. I know that we knew that Cooper would be back earlier this week. But I think I'd much rather have the Nakua bet if I were to play one of them.
All right. So again, if you're betting on FanDuel and that's all you got, you're stuck at 32.5. It opened at 31.5. It opened at 27.5 on BetMGM. Now Puka at 28.5 minus 10 on BetMGM, and DK had him at 27.5, took him off the board. That is going to be an interesting decision. I know there's guys in chat that are talking about it, and fatheads saying you got to hit that, you got to hit it. I'm going to take my chances with it, but I got to defer to Iowa or Keg on this one. Again, it does not seem like a lot.
It
of
just
yards.
moved for me offshore, Holden. I'm at 31.5 at minus 118, and I was going to try and make a point, and it literally moved while you were talking. But right now, Cooper Kupp 68 plus minus 122. I could get 61 plus from Puka at plus 225. I would much rather take that bet. I think they both have an equal chance to go off, and a lot of it's going to depend on how Minnesota decides to scheme them, who they decide to try and shut down. So I'm all over Nakua. I'm staying away from Kupp preps tonight.
The only problem is he going to be on limited snaps? Is he not going to be? If he's not on limited snaps, then the people that bet this 28.5 to the over are just going to laugh, because they're probably going to cash this thing in the first quarter of the first half. The problem is I just don't know how active he's going to be. We can follow the news, but I think the longer we wait, the more this line's going to go up. But I don't know how much of a difference there's going to be between 29 and 33 yards if the guy is a full go. Like, that's an absolute joke. So I wonder why it would be set so low just to start. They got to know something if it's that low, right? The books have to know something with that, because they're not going to get taken to the cleaners. This guy goes off for 60, they're going to get murdered.
I guess. Do they have that much liability on player props?
I mean, they will if people keep betting this Puka Nakua. Yeah, I think so. Why would it be limited is the question that we saw. I mean, again, they activate him. Just because you activate a guy and put him out there doesn't mean that he's going to get full run. Now, the problem is I'm looking for news right now, and I can't see any news as if there's going to be a snap count or anything with that, you know?
And I don't think they're going to announce it, Holden. I think you can refresh your Twitter all day, or X or whatever it's called now. I don't think that Sean McVay is going to announce it. You're just going to have to guess. And I would rather.
You're taking a risk if you bet the over right now.
Yeah,
that's it.
I think the other thing too, to your point, Holden, I think there's a reason we can't bet alt yards on Puka Nakua.
Yeah, I got him. I can go 71 plus for plus 313 right now.
Offshore.
Yeah.
Oh wow. I can't pull up anything on covers. I'm seeing what his numbers are at all the books, but I'm not seeing it on DraftKings yet. I just bet it on MGM just to get my bet in.
You're betting it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a unit. You know, it seems like it's going to be an extremely easy cash. If I lose it, so what? It's one unit.
Yeah. God damn, this is tough, man. Take under 32 and ladder 60. That's what Maddie's saying.
That's an interesting way to approach it.
I actually think that's kind of a smart way to approach it.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, if he doesn't get there, then all of a sudden, you know, that's fine. You lost a unit, but if he does get to 60, then you're getting plus money. But yeah, you're right, Eddie. Puka yards will never be this low. I just don't want to be reactionary and smash this thing. You know what I'm saying? So Zargo's in. I think Maddie's in on this too. I guess I'll just dig into it right after this and just try and find some more news.
To your point, Holden, you're right. I mean, so what? I mean, this thing might go up to like 35. If you feel better about waiting and looking into it, so be it. I don't think you need to sweat the 27 to 33 line or whatever it's going to jump up to.
No. And you wonder if you got Cooper Kupp props, if this helps or hurts. I just don't know.
Hurts.
You know,
it definitely hurts.
Yeah.
You think?
I don't know. I don't think it does much.
If you bet Kupp right when the lines drop,
now you got to take somebody off. You can't like bracket Kupp.
But either way, you're still going to put your best CB on Kupp.
This is fascinating, man. Absolutely fascinating. With the Puka news, we got the Hawkinson news. He's out. This is crazy stuff, boys.
So Hawkinson's ruled out now?
Yeah.
Oh, I was expecting him to play as of 9 a.m. this morning. I've been doing NBA since.
You should listen. I just said it like 5 minutes ago.
He said it like 5 minutes ago.
I apologize, Holden.
You don't have to apologize to me.
It. I completely missed it.
Yeah, I don't see any alts right now for Puka.
Legal
I guess I should have noticed when I was scrolling here, and there's no props for him in the receiving section. My apologies.
Man, everything's telling me not to bet it. And
every time I refresh this page, his number's going up.
Nakua?
Yeah. On FanDuel, who's up to 32.5.
All right, let's see where he is on. So you think a unit on Puka tonight is not the worst idea?
No.
God damn it.
27.5 yards, man. I mean, that could be one catch.
Now it makes sense why Naylor's still at 27.5. Okay.
Oh, I mean, Naylor, would you go with Naylor? That's the other side.
Well, no, I was going to go under on it because I thought Hawkinson was back. And then I'm like, well, now you're the fourth option. And okay.
All right. That's it. Bets in on BetMGM. Let's do this. Let's not fuck around anymore. We're going to go with Puka Nakua over 28.5 yards. All right. Place bet. Booyakasha. Let's hope he does it. And if we get some alts, we'll see what we can do with the alts. But this is absolutely fascinating to me that this thing dropped. Here we go. Puka Nakua alt. Puka Nakua to get 75 yards is 625.
What about like 50?
260. 230. Right? Spread, any thoughts there?
I think you've heard all my thoughts on this one. We're just kind of bouncing around the same idea here, right? I mean, you said it perfectly. We have no idea. And I know that you're going to transform into Sherlock Holden and go ahead and try and investigate this all afternoon, but I'm not sure you're going to find any news. I think
if it's
best plan of action, Holden, is to either bet it right now, take a stand, or tune in tonight. 5:15 Pacific, 8:15 Eastern to the live show. We'll actually see the players out on the field. We'll see how well he's moving. We'll see who Flores decided to bracket after all and be able to crush this from a live in-game betting perspective. So just a little shameless plug for me right there. And I was a little disappointed I didn't get a chuckle out of the Sherlock Holden comment.
It's not. I'm just looking for stuff. That's all it is.
He's too busy to chuckle.
Yeah, it's just, I'm just trying to get information out to the people and found an alt line there on 50 yards of plus 260. So 3/4 of a unit on his over 28.5 and another quarter unit on his 50 plus. All at BetMGM. They got the best number out there.
Tell Holden to get an opinion out in the Discord. I want Holden tell Keg to get opinion out in the Discord. I want to know.
Holden, that's pretty funny, man. I like that.
Well, thank you. At least I got a laugh out of our guy Matt.
So, well, I like it, but I'm just
work here is done.
I'm flummoxed right now. I'm just in a I try not to like overreact to the news, right? But once in a while, like 28.5 for Puka Nakua. Seriously? Like as a decoy, he could get 29 yards. All right. More research really isn't going to matter because I already made the bet. But
they announced that he's playing 4 hours before kickoff. Like I'd be shocked if they're going to say much more.
Do y'all agree on the Vikings side?
Seems like it.
Does seem like it. Seems like they both agree on the Vikings side tonight against.
Well, I'm glad I'm the only one not listening.
Well, usually, hey, dude. Like I said, I'm trying to find more Puka Nakua news. But here's the thing.
I was taking a shot at Clyde right there.
Oh, okay. The line has not moved. The line has not moved at all since the Nakua news came out. So
I mean,
but then it dropped. Yeah, I think like we said, it's just because that 2.5 just came down. So they're probably going to need to take some money on that before it changes.
And Nakua might not be worth a half a point to people that are betting.
Not if his expected yardage is like 30.
And the other thing is, right, when I'm looking at these offshore books and they're refusing to budge off this 3, my guess is they got a lot on one side or the other and they don't want to get caught here in a pickle. So
Brady Fisk is back too, the Rams defensive end, so that'll help them get with a little bit of pass rush. Not so sure it's going to work, but boy, this is all right. This is it. Just the Puka number's too low. You'll never see it there again as long as he's walking on 2 legs. So I think it's a good bet, Zargo. Had you not gone in on it, I wouldn't have gone in on it. But if we're taking the 28, just go to the 50.
To me, man, that's the importance of unit betting. is that right there. Is it seems like a great opportunity, so let's just take it, and we're not gonna ruin our bankroll if it doesn't hit, but it should just be an easy pop.
Okay, very good. All right, guys, that's the show. That was kind of fun reacting to breaking news. I love doing that. It reminds me of the good old days. Check out Spread. Spread, what do you got going on here at Nuke the House? What's next for you? NBA?
That's right. It'll be in just 18 minutes. Holden, I'll be jumping on to break down tonight's 4-game slates. And of course, we'll give some reactions to everything we saw around the association last night. So it should be a lot of fun. Like I said, this NFL, it's more fun to watch. It's a better sport. But NBA, might be a little softer market here, as everybody just like they don't think the defense matters. All they care about is who the best player on each team is. They don't care about depth. So I think there is some edge to find in the NBA, and we're going to continue to do that today.
All right. So Pelissero came out and said Rams have activated Nakua. Don't expect him to play a normal snap count tonight. I don't
need a normal snap count for 30 yards.
No, you really don't. You need probably with Puka 3 catches.
Absolutely.
And if he doesn't hit the 50, then he doesn't hit the 50. But he's there. And if he's there, we're going with him. Zargo, what do you got going on, buddy? I know you got a lot of NHL stuff out. We just dropped your NHL short with the Jets bet tonight. So what else is going on with you?
Yeah, man, just kind of really diving into the NHL season, man. It is my favorite sport. Easy to win money. It's such an entertaining sport to watch. It's really the only sport where I'll watch the game no matter who's playing. Vibing out the season, man, just getting started. As I kind of mentioned last night, I kind of go easy to start the year, but man, by the time January hits, I'm going to look like Keg with the bets I'm making and the units I'm winning. So, bear with me now. It's going to be bumpy, a lot of ups, a lot of downs as we start. Going to have some heaters, but by January, it's just going to be all uphill. Try to stay active in the Discord. I know a lot of people aren't into hockey. I love getting people into the sport. Any questions, man, don't hesitate to ask. It's like I said, it's a sport I know most people don't know. So really no stupid questions. Just come talk hockey. Nothing I enjoy doing more.
How many pucks do they play with at the same time?
Just one.
That's not a stupid question. That's a question
No.
I was literally asked. I mean, it was by my 8-year-old daughter, but when she was 8.
Are you calling your 8-year-old stupid?
No, just a stupid question. But I still acted like, hey, you're just trying to learn the sport and you're young.
Exactly.
Here we go again. Site is open for business. Go sign up right now. $59.99 a month. $599.99 a year. You can save $120. Then you don't have to take the month and just keep re-upping that way. Save yourself some money. Win yourself some money. $60 a month with the way these guys have been crushing their bets. It's just too cheap. Members, you're getting booted out of Discord at 6 o'clock tonight. So make sure a little bit after that, you get back in Discord so you get your real-time live betting notifications right in game directly to your phone. You don't have to watch the show, although I really do recommend that you do. Okay, that's the graphic. Spread, thanks for the time, pal. Zargo, thanks for the time, pal. Let's go nuke the house.